नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका बात भारत की के इस नए एपिसोड में। आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसी पर्सनालिटी है जिन्होंने इंडियन शूटिंग को नए हाइट्स तक पहुंचाया और कई लोगों के लिए इंस्पिरेशन बनी। एक ट्रेन्ड डेंटिस्ट होने के बावजूद इन्होंने अपना पूरा फोकस शूटिंग पर दिया और इस स्पोर्ट में नए मुकाम हासिल किए। ये इंडिया की पहली पिस्टल शूटर हैं जो वर्ल्ड नंबर 1 रैंक तक पहुंची। तो चलिए मिलते हैं हीना सिद्धू से और जानते हैं कैसे उन्होंने अपनी लगन और मेहनत से शूटिंग स्पोर्ट में इतनी ऊंचाइयां हासिल की, उनके सफर के कुछ हसीन पल और उनकी सोच जो नए शूटर्स के लिए इंस्पिरेशन बन सकती है। हिना, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग मी टुडे फॉर बात भारत की। हिना, आपने एक बार बोला था दैट यू कैन सर्व योर कंट्री बेटर बाय बीइंग अ शूटर दैन बीइंग अ डेंटिस्ट। वो कौन सा पल था व्हेन यू रियलाइज्ड इट वाज नॉट ओनली योर पैशन बट अ ट्रू कॉलिंग फॉर यू?
For me, graduation, while I was, doing my graduation, I went to my first Olympics, 2012. So, वहाँ पे जाके I realized that, how much effort it takes to reach the Olympics and how much effort it is going to take if I want to win the medal. And on the other side also, when I came back home, I realized how much effort the studies are going to take. So that was a call I had to take at that time. I can study for now, but if I want to be ace shooter or if I want to be top doctor, I have to pick and choose one. It's not going to happen doing both the things and being mediocre at two things. So that's when I realized after going to the Olympics that what it means to me, and I want to go for more Olympics. I want to win more medals for my country. So that's the call I took. So I thought that, I can serve my country being a doctor or a shooter, but as a shooter, I had far more talent.
Right.
So that's how I made the call.
See, or let's say, how difficult was this decision for you, and what support did you, get during this phase while still thinking about which field to pick?
For me, it was quite easy because I was just going by what makes me happy and what I'm good at. And what calls me. So for me, that was the decision I was basing it on. But it's like hindsight, looking at it in hindsight, I feel that it was not such a light decision, because that is how my life was shaped by that decision. So I may have taken it lightly at that point of time, but that is what led me here. And I think जो भी decision लिया सही लिया.
No, I'm 100% sure about that. अच्छा, shooting की अगर बात की जाए ना, along with I think skills, you also need to have that strong mindset. अब आप वो pressure में focus कैसे maintain करते हैं?
I think focus is a very subjective term. For different shooters, it may mean a very different thing. For different athletes, it may mean a very different thing. And how to get that focus, what is the self-talk you do? आप अपने आप को कैसे समझाते हो? Sometimes you don't even need a self-talk. आप कोई चीज़ visualize करते हो. Maybe for me, if it is a good shot, how do I visualize that good shot? What does it mean to me emotionally? How does it feel? Or then sometimes, it's just breath. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and the whole match goes just breathing. Right. So and sometimes it's aggression. Sometimes when you're in the finals, you can use aggression to give you that focus, to give you that edge. So I think it's not just one thing. I think a successful athlete would have different variations of focusing and different tactics to get that focus. And it's very important because we need to be able to adapt to the situation. We need to find what are we lacking today or what is my strength today. So it's a very focus can have many faces, let's put it this way.
Right. तो इसके लिए कुछ ट्रेनिंग भी आपको मिलती है, जैसे प्रेशर में काम और फोकस रहने के लिए, और इज इट जस्ट व्हाट कम्स फ्रॉम इनसाइड यू?
I think for me, how I started, the first step towards getting this, how I built my focus was, it was based a lot on my culture. You know, coming from Punjabi culture, we use very strong words, we use very strong self-talk, aggression, pepping ourselves up, and you know, getting ready for the fight. So that was how I started, you know, as a teenager. When I picked up shooting, that was my first version of focus. But it's sometimes anger is not that sustainable. You know, you cannot sustain anger for say 2 hours or 3 hours of a match. You can sustain it, at least I can sustain it for a limited amount of time. So but then you have to find something else. You can look at breathing, you can focus your gaze on a point, or try to close your eyes and visualize. So all these things, I think if you want to increase your focus, coming back to your question, it all comes down to how you're training it. And how many times during your practice do you test your focus, and at what point does it start breaking, and that is the point you start working on it. So you may pick up one thing, like I said, for me I started with aggressive self-talk, and I realized what is the limitation of this. And the day it broke in training, you must break your focus in training, you know, otherwise how are you going to build it? So if the training is happening very smoothly and you're not putting yourself through that pressure, you're not going to be adding value, right? So yeah, it's an everyday thing. That's where the coaches come in the picture. That's where your team and how you design your training program comes in the picture. And you have to take notes. You have to find new ways to focus. And then once you find that new way, you have to train it again and make it stronger.
Right. अच्छा, अगर हम शूटिंग की बात करें इंडिया में, so it's still considered as a male dominated sport. आपके क्या challenges रहे to reach where you are today, and for the budding women athletes, आपको क्या लगता है, क्या initiatives लेने चाहिए to bring them also to the forefront?
I think shooting is a male dominant sport only in the numbers of participants. Right? So if you look at the number of participants in the national championships, you'll see that male participation is more than the females. But that's by choice. Because we have an academy also, and we do collect a lot of data on our customers and women. I realize that women are not drawn to this sport.
Right.
That's a personal choice. But at the same time, we can make it accessible to women who want to. So I think shooting has reached a point where it has that pull. Because of all the achievements we've had, because of all the Olympic medals that we have won, it has that pull now. People don't talk about shooting as amateurs, you know. They know what shooting is. They know the names of all the top athletes in shooting. So this disparity of male dominance and female dominance is only personal choice, you know. Females may be attracted to something else, maybe badminton, maybe something else. But this is something we have also noticed, that shooting has more pull for males as compared to women. But as a structure of the sport, there is no male dominance, you know. Like we have equal number of events for males and for women. And Manu has won 2 medals, so dominance की तो कोई बात नहीं है, right? So I think we are going in the right track. I think I see a good future.
Right. So Heena, you've also won a lot of awards. You're an Arjuna Awardee yourself. जब आप ये award लेते हो, आपके पास ये medals हैं, of course you are going to leave all these to this sport. Apart from these medals and all that, all the years that you've dedicated to the sport, और क्या आप इस sport के लिए छोड़ना चाहते हैं? What is that one thing maybe you want to dedicate to the sport?
I think it's not just for this sport, for all the sports in India. I think if we can have some, maybe the Ministry of Education can look into this, or Ministry of Sports. I feel that there should be some sort of a degree for coaching. I strongly feel that. Sometimes you don't need a degree if you have enough experience behind you as an athlete. But then there are also, today in India, nothing stops me, say, if I want to declare myself as the coach of football, right? I go on Google, I search few things, I go on YouTube, collect some information, and there's nothing stopping me, right? Whereas for everything else, you need some sort of formal education or some experience, right? You either have the skills or you have education. So we need to regularize this market because this is where the bottleneck is. As someone who's running their own academy, this is where we feel the bottleneck is. There's only so much that one person can do with respect to training the next generation. I can't train 50 athletes if I want to work on the very top elite athletes. I can only maybe train 5, 6, 10 of them, not more. So नीचे की तरफ ग्रासरूट में कोचेस की बहुत कमी है. एंड इंडिया में अगर टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज, गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स इस और आते हैं where you can study this, the moment you have a degree now, people feel that I earned this degree today and tomorrow I can go and ask for a good salary, because this market is not a very regularized market. You have a lot of coaches who don't know anything, and then you have very good coaches who are not earning much, and there's nothing to differentiate for layman. What makes this coach good? What makes this coach not so good? There are no metrics for measurement. So we need to find a system where we have metrics to measure the strength of our coaches at grassroots, at intermediate and at elite levels, and have a uniform system.
Right.
Because this is the bottleneck. I have talked to so many people. We have a lot of demand. Infrastructure is also there. The coaches are a problem. Infrastructure is also a problem. ऐसा नहीं है कि I would say that infrastructure हमारे पास हर sport का है. But infrastructure फिर भी है. Coaches तो बहुत कम है. अच्छे coaches.
Right. I think you've made a very valid point there. अच्छा, last words that you would want to leave our audience with, or maybe let me put it this way, हमारे budding shooters के लिए कुछ last words of inspiration.
I think not just for shooters, for anybody trying to pursue sport, be patient, and you need to find the right reasons why you are playing this sport. Some may say that I'm doing it to win medals for the country, I am doing this for this, I'm doing this for money. But eventually you have to find the reason why it makes you happy. Because eventually you have to stand there every day, and if you're not going to enjoy doing what you're going to do, you all the other things that I'm going to win medal for India, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do, all those are secondary.
Right.
All those are secondary. First, you need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to have the patience, when the chips are down, to find that thing. Why did you start? What makes you happy? And what can you learn from it? So it's a long journey. You need patience. You need the right reasons and the sport to press the right buttons in you, so that you can enjoy it for a long period of time. Yeah.
Right. Makes absolute sense. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Lovely conversation.
Thank you.
हीना सिद्धू की कहानी सिर्फ एक एथलीट की जर्नी नहीं है, बल्कि एक मिसाल है उस जुनून की जो किसी भी सपने को हकीकत में बदलना चाहता है. उन्होंने सिर्फ शूटिंग में नए बेंचमार्क सेट नहीं किए, बल्कि नए सपने देखने का हौसला भी दिया है, स्पेशली उन लोगों के लिए जो स्पोर्ट्स या किसी भी फील्ड में अपनी पहचान बनाना चाहते हैं. ऐसे ही और भी इंस्पायरिंग कहानियों के लिए हमसे जुड़े रहिए. मैं हूं डिम्पल बाजवा और आप देख रहे हैं बात भारत की. मिलेंगे एक नए एपिसोड में एक नई इंस्पायरिंग पर्सनालिटी के साथ. तब तक के लिए नमस्कार.